Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat po for joining me today. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Quick and Easy Cooking with Mimi, featuring of course our world's best super kitchen machine, the Thermomix, all the way from Germany, now in Malaysian homes. Okay, so just a bit of intro. My name is Mimi. I'm a Thermomix cooking advisor. I've been using the Thermomix since 2018. And I'm also a team leader, so under me I have several advisors, Thermomix cooking advisors, whom I'm training to become team leaders themselves. And what can I say? I love the Thermomix, and this is my way of thanking all of you for supporting me all of this while in my Thermomix journey, and also to thank you for making the Thermomix the #1 super kitchen machine in the world. At the same time, I hope that with my sharing on this cooking tips and tricks, and I hope that you can all benefit from it. Okay, so just a quick, very briefly, as I mentioned, the Thermomix is a super kitchen machine. It can do more than 20 functions, and today I'm gonna do 2 dishes. One that will feature its weighing, chopping, stirring, cooking functions, and also one that will do crushing and auto blending function. I'm gonna do the quintessential Filipino dish, adobong manok, which is chicken adobo. And then I'm also gonna make something that may be new to you unless you go to the Philippines often. It's called green mango shake. Okay, so to start off, we're gonna set my chart aside, and I'm gonna start with our adobo. The recipe is super simple. At its most basic, adobo requires a lot of garlic. So if you don't like garlic, I'm afraid this dish is not for you. So you will need garlic, and then there are variations within from one region to another, but at its most basic, adobo will require vinegar and soy sauce. So the soy sauce in the Philippines is very similar to the Malaysian kicap cai, which is the salted, not the thick one, the thin one, yes, like kikoman, that sort of thing, yeah. And it's only in Malaysia that I encountered sweet soy sauce, okay. And then also, so before we started the show, I actually marinated the chicken with some vinegar and soy sauce inside the refrigerator, because that is the proper way of handling uncooked food, so that there's no contamination. And then later on, we're gonna chop some more garlic, and we're gonna saute it in oil. And then later on, I will add the marinated chicken, and then we will add some peppercorns and also costly ground pepper. This is to balance it a bit. We want a bit of heat, but we also want the flavor and the texture of the pepper. I won't recommend the very fine ones. If you use it, you have to reduce the quantity a bit, because it's not meant to be spicy. It's just to have a little bit of a kick and the flavor of peppercorn. And we have to add bay leaves as well, 2 bay leaves here. It's probably a Spanish dish, because the word adobo itself, it sounds Spanish. I haven't had time to look it up. But we start off very simply by chopping our garlic. So I have 5 cloves here. I will share with you the recipe later. I actually uploaded it into the Malaysian recipe community. It's super simple. Normally, if you do it on the stove, it takes a long time, because okay, first I'm gonna chop this now. 3 seconds, speed 6. Oh, hi, Azima, Janice, nice of you to join us. Kamla, all the way from Jakarta. Hai Kak Amna, Puan Shima, Masya Allah, terima kasih join Mimi hari ini. kawan dari Manila tak hari ni. Okay, kita tunggu kita tak tahu hari ni kita punya guest dari mana. Okay, so as usual, after we chop our garlic, we remove the lid and then we're going to scrape it down because it looks something like this. You see it all chopped nicely again. Like, can you imagine your blender doing this kind of fine chopping? Okay, and even if we're using only like 2 cloves, it will still get this. So when it says scrape down, you just have to scrape it down literally from the sides of the bowl so that we will be able to saute it. Okay. And if you do knock your spatula against the mixing bowl, do it when it's not on the base because you don't want to compromise your weighing scale because our Thermomix comes with an integrated weighing scale. Okay, so since we have this already, we don't need to take it out. After chopping, we activate our weighing scale and we're going to weigh a bit of oil. I'll just check the recipe which I put online. This is the nice thing about cooking with a Thermomix. You don't need to memorize what you are cooking. You can easily refer to the recipe while you're cooking. It's the easy way to do. And you're guaranteed that the results will be the same every time. Okay? So yeah, if I remember correctly, it should be 30 grams. Yes, 30 grams of cooking oil. That's so little. Unlike when you use the conventional way of cooking adobo, you have to have a lot of oil so that the chicken doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. Okay? So we want to release the aroma of the garlic by sauteing it for only 3 minutes. And the nice thing about this is that I'm going to do it hands-free and splatter-free. As you can see, my kitchen is very white, very clean. And while this is sauteing, I can actually just sit here, right? And reply to your comments and messages. Okay? So, no fumes, no wood, just me and my Thermomixes. I have people asking me if I can still speak Tagalog. Yes, I still can. The national language, Filipino, is actually based on the Tagalog language, but even though I've learned it in school and I speak it quite often, I was raised in a family that speaks a dialect called Cebuano or Bisaya. And this dialect is spoken by some 20 million people only, 20 million Filipinos, yes. And a lot of the words I notice now are either from Spanish or from Javanese. Like counting. Counting would be usa, duha, tulo, upat, lima, unum, pito, walo. So it's like siji, loro, telu, papat, the Javanese way of counting. But at the same time, we also know the Spanish way of counting. Like if, you know, when we were kids, we'd be running around and doing naughty stuff, and suddenly the grandfather or the grandmother would be like screaming at us and they would tell us to settle down and be quiet. And when they start counting, uno, then we start to like quiet down, dos, and dos, and we start to, you know, like start to scrambling, and then we don't, because we don't want him to go to tres. By the time he gets to tres, that means we're in absolute trouble. So it's very interesting how all of these languages and cultural nuances have melded into the Filipino culture. And I would even think that the reason why there's a lot of vinegar in certain Filipino dishes, it probably had something to do with preserving the food, because back in the day it wasn't easy to get refrigerators. So we would have adobo, we would have paksiw, which is also cooking things in vinegar, or maybe sinigang. It's almost like tom yum but without the heat. And then we would cook it with sampalok, the asam jawa, you know, those the fruits with the seeds. Yes, that one. Okay, so I can start to smell the aroma of the garlic now, and you won't even know that we are cooking here. We have cooked in a hospital, we have cooked in the middle of a mall, we have cooked in a wedding exhibition right in the middle of the hall. And you know, when people would just pass by and they would smell the wonderful aroma wafting around of the food, and then they don't know where it's coming from. And when they tell them we are actually cooking, and they were like, what? Okay, and this is probably the only way you can saute something and still be able to take a selfie, right? Amazing. And it's calling me now. It says time for you to keep quiet, Mimi, and continue with your cooking. Okay, so for the next step, to make it quiet, then we either touch the selector button or we touch anywhere on the screen. And you can also set the volume and the duration of the ending sound. Okay, and then I'm going to put in the chicken now without the marinade, because what I want to do now is basically just to brown it a little bit. Okay, so today I'm using thighs because this is the one that I managed to get from the market. You can also use wings. You can also use chicken parts, but I wouldn't recommend boneless chicken breast, because especially if you're buying in Malaysia, it's what's called ayam process. So ayam process ni dia akan keluarkan air banyak, and then it will release a lot of water. Lepas tu dia senang hancur, it easily falls apart. So I would highly recommend you either go with kampung chicken or antibiotic free chicken. Okay, and then we're just gonna brown this for about 3 minutes. And since we have the chicken now, we're gonna reverse the blade. So for people who are new to Thermomix, who've never seen the Thermomix before, the blade is actually two-sided. So you have one side that is sharp and you have the blunt side. So when it's chopping, it's going clockwise. And when it's stirring, it's going counterclockwise. That's why we have to press the reverse button so that it goes counterclockwise. Okay? I will address any questions if you have any questions along the way. Hi Arfa, ya Allah. You know what's my problem now? I have to look for pastel color tudung, preferably floral. And since I'm doing this cooking thing every day, I'm like, my goodness, I'm running out of scarves to wear. Otherwise, I'll be repeating the same scarves over and over again. Oh dear. Hi Joyce. Eileen, hi. How's Brunei? Christy, wow, a lot of Singaporeans today. Okay, so as this is happening, we are just browning the chicken now. Absolutely wonderful. You don't, again, as usual, you don't even know it's happening. And the red light here, it indicates, okay, this one, it turned off automatically because it's part of the safety feature, and also it's energy saving feature of the Thermomix, that if you don't use it after a certain period of time, it will shut down automatically by itself. Even if I'm doing this, for example, and I need to go to the toilet or I need to attend to my kids, if I don't attend to this, it will just shut down after a certain period of time. So the heat gets cut off, the electricity gets cut off. Very, very safe. And if you can see here, this machine, I haven't, this Thermomix on my right, it hasn't, it's not cooking anything yet. So you can see that there's no heat. So there's a green light. Whereas this one, there's already heat, it's already hot, so you can see the red light. So it's a visual warning also for people not to touch the mixing bowl. The actual base is not hot because the motor itself is very unique and frictionless. So there's no heat generated, there is no fan needed, and because there's no friction as it goes round and round, it means that the Thermomix can last for many, many years, and you don't have to worry about you know, like maintenance, that you have to send your car regularly for maintenance. Not with a Thermomix, no need. It's just wonderful, absolute peace of mind. Okay? And it's almost done, 23 seconds. So fast, huh? I keep talking. Tintin, hi! Assalamualaikum! Kumusta? Salamat naka-join ka ngayong hapon. Special tong linuluto ko ngayon, adobong manok. Namimiss mo na ba? You know what I hate about this before? Because traditionally what I would do, I would saute the the garlic, and then I brown the chicken. Obviously, I can't leave it. And then I would add the marinade, and then I would add water so that it cooks. And then I have to stir constantly so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. And I have to lower the fire because I like to reduce the liquid, and I don't know how long it takes. I can't even tell my kids when they ask me, Mama, what time will you finish? But this one, I can tell them exactly how many more minutes until we have dinner. So amazing, right? Okay, so if I remember correctly, the next step will be we add the marinade and yes, the marinade, the reserved marinade, and all these other ingredients, which is our coarsely ground black pepper, the peppercorns, whole peppercorns, and also our bay leaf. Super simple, super simple. And this is how our chicken looks like. Okay. So yeah, as I was telling you, kalau ni ayam process, ayam dia dah keluar banyak dah. So this is actually chicken from Ladangku. I'm not being paid by them, but the chicken is hormone free, and I think it's very important. And I see a difference in the amount of liquid that is released, between this and the chicken that sells for like 5 ringgit per kilo or something. I mean, we are giving this to our kids. For some reason, chicken is very cheap in Malaysia. And in fact, in the Philippines, the de facto would be, most Filipinos would be cooking the pork version of this. I mean, I hope I'm not offending any of my Muslim viewers. But I may not have shared with you that actually I was raised a Catholic. So I have cooked pork before. I've eaten it also. So now I'm just gonna cook this for 14 minutes, Varoma, while we do our shake. So yes, I studied in a Catholic university. I know my Bible. And I have friends who are amazed that I can still quote the Bible. Then we set the things aside because we're going to use this Thermomix on the right hand side to do our green mango shake. I'm just going to go and grab our ice cubes. Appeal tin. Okay, so this for this drink, I know it sounds weird. You can go to like restaurants in Manila, and when you open it, it says green mango shake. It's not literally the green unripe mango, but it's more of, the mango that's slightly ripe, but there's still a bit of green. I don't know if you can see it. There's still a bit of green on when you peel the skin off, so the skin will be like slightly green. And it's still got a bit of crunch on the outside, but inside is already sweet, so you get the blend of sweet and sour. So it's very, very interesting. I mean, maybe Filipinos would find it weird that Malaysians drink asam boy, but that's the closest thing I can think of, except that this one doesn't have salt. It's more of a sour, sweet sour thing. And of course, the unmistakable taste of the mango. So we will be using mangoes this time. And then a bit of sugar, because obviously to counter the sourness. And then we have some ice because it's a shake or smoothie. And if you go to Manila, they will say it's a shake. The term would usually be green mango shake. And we have a bit of evaporated milk. Okay? And just to share with you, this type of mango, it has a very, very specific term in Tagalog. They call it mangga manibalang. Manibalang means it's like semi-ripe. Not quite ripe yet, but not quite unripe either. So it's mangga manibalang, and Filipinos love to snack on this. We would eat this with alamang, which is the closest thing I can think of would be the Malaysian, the thing from Malacca. What do you call that? The shrimp thing from Malacca. Yeah, that one. I can't remember the name. Or some people would also eat it with bagoong. Bagoong is a fermented fish paste, which is very similar to the Clantanese udu. Yes, we eat this for. You can buy this on the roadsides. Very, very popular street food all over the Philippines. They will have a very fancy way of peeling it without touching. So they will be holding the entire fruit, and then they will peel it right in front of you, and the peel would still be intact there, so they don't touch the actual fruit. So in the Philippines, food handlers will be very, very careful not to touch food with their bare hands. So you can imagine my shock when I came to Malaysia and people would be handling food with bare hands. I mean, just stating, you know, these small cultural differences that maybe a lot of us don't realize unless you're in the same situation. Just sharing je lah, okay? Tapi Mimi dah duduk lama sini. I've been here since 1993. I met my husband and stayed here, obviously, and then we have, alhamdulillah, we've been blessed with 6 wonderful kids. Okay, so enough talking. I'm gonna do the shake now. Super simple as usual. We're gonna pulverize our sugar. This one you can adjust according to taste. And it's a very simple matter of 10 seconds, speed 10. And I don't know if you can see it from the screen. Hi Peggy, hi Joyce. Joyce, why are you laughing? Okay, so I don't know if you can see from the screen, but you seem to see like smoke. Actually, I was just pulverizing the sugar. Okay. Ooh, our sugar has turned into sweet, sweet snow. Look at that. That's the power of the German motor of the Thermomix. Wonderful. So especially during this controlled movement period, you know, you need all sorts of things. You need caster sugar, you need icing sugar, no problem. If you have a Thermomix, you can do all that. Okay? And so the next step is just to dump everything in, and then we will activate blend mode. Blend mode is a new feature of the latest model of the Thermomix. This is the TM5. It's no longer sold. It's now a collectible item, people, so hold on to your TM5s. But this is the latest TM6, and it has a lot more features as compared to the TM5, of course. And one of them is the auto blend feature, where you just put in your ingredients and then you turn the blending on, and it will determine for you how much blending time is needed. Super easy. Okay. So I'm just gonna swipe here. Mine swipe je macam handphone. And then I'm gonna go to blend function, and then we try 30 seconds, then just turn it on. Sambil tu sempat je berduduk kat sini. It's calling me now. Let's take a look at our green mango shake. Oh, it's done. 30 seconds, y'all. Okay, siap dah. I'm gonna take another spatula. Super simple, super easy. Oh yeah, and this is the other tip that I showed you before. When you lift your Thermomix from the base, you hold it like this and you lift it up. And then you set it down, and then you hold it, the bottom here. It's more ergonomic this way for pouring. Just one of the tips and tricks that you get from a well-trained advisor. So when you're buying a Thermomix, choose wisely, because the advisor through whom you are buying from will be the one who will be giving you your after-sales service and giving you all this advice about how to use your Thermomix, which recipes to use, or to troubleshoot your cooking. How come it's not the same as the recipe, photo, that sort of thing. And alhamdulillah, in my 2 years as advisor, I've heard all sorts of happy customer stories. It's just amazing. It just makes me feel grateful that whatever little I know about cooking and about using the Thermomix has managed to benefit a lot of people. Okay? So it's just a simple matter of pouring it out. And then maybe if you can have one of those little paper umbrellas and before you serve it in the restaurant, just garnish, or maybe some mint leaves. Again. Okay, and then we take the one that's on the lid as well, because we don't want to waste any food. Super easy, refreshing drink for hot and humid Malaysian afternoons. And it's something different. And surprisingly, the tartness of the mango goes very well with the creaminess of the evaporated milk. You can also try fresh milk, but it's like traditionally people have been making this with evaporated milk. Okay? And then I'm just going to drink from here, and then as usual we're going to do pre-clean. Now it looks like this, and we're just going to put water up to about 1 liter mark. So now it looks like this. I hope you can see it. And we're just going to put the lid on and activate our pre-clean function. Again, it's a function that's not in the TM5. Here you go. And we just leave it. And meanwhile, the best part of of the show for me would be testing the green mango shake. Okay, and this is what's nice about the Thermomix, because you actually have time to sit and relax in between your cooking. So wonderful. Makes me miss my friends in Manila, and Davao, and Cebu, and Jensan. Namimiss ko po kayo. Saan ba kayo ngayon? I hope you're all well. Sedap. Tubular tea. You should try this at home. I will share the recipe later. PM me if you want it. I'm also going to upload it in the recipe community, Malaysian recipe community. So nice. Okay, we have another 3 minutes to go here. Meanwhile, our oven has been preheated to 180. The reason for this is it's a personal preference for me. I like my chicken to be like mera skit, like golden brown. So I have both the sauce for my rice, and also I have the almost like a fried crisp to the meat. Okay, meanwhile our bowl here is clean. Let's take a look. So it has scrubbed off most of the dirt, and I'm just gonna pour it out and rinse it out. So after I pour out the water, it's already like this. So you can see that there's very little to wash off afterwards. I really love this feature of the TM6. So just a quick rinse. And our bowl is good to go. So maybe, I haven't planned for this, but maybe we can cook rice. I can show you how to cook rice, okay? Now, hi Azar. Peggy, it's not really lassi because it's, we call it a green mango shake because it's green mango. I mean, it's in between ripe and unripe. It's already starting to ripen, but not quite ripe yet, so it's still a bit crunchy on the outside, but it's starting to get sweet on the inside. So we use that type of mango, and then we add a bit of milk and ice and sugar. That's it. Very simple recipe. Okay? So since we have some time, because after this is done, I'm gonna pop it into the oven. I think I will show you how to cook rice, yeah? So with rice, you can cook your rice in here as well. But I have to grab my basket all the way from there. So the nice thing about the Thermomix is that you can actually cook a small amount of rice. This is about a cup. So if you're alone, you can cook 20 grams or 50 grams and you get a bowl just for yourself. No need to keep and reheat and stress about, you know, like sometimes you forget about it and you keep it in the fridge and a week later you unearth it and then it doesn't smell good anymore. So with the Thermomix, you can cook exactly as much you need, and it can save you a lot of money. There's less wastage, okay? And to clean it, we're just gonna put the basket in here. I'm sorry because this wasn't planned, so I didn't have my Thermomix basket with the lid. Oh, this one's done. Okay, hang on. Before we start this, I'm just gonna set this aside. Then I'm gonna grab my oven-proof dish. Then it's just a matter of putting my chicken, because it looks something like this. Okay? I'm going to show you shortly. I'm just going to take it out. And if you notice, I'm not pouring everything out because I want to thicken some of the sauce in the Thermomix. Some of the sauce will go with the chicken as it goes into the oven, and some of it will be thickened in the Thermomix itself. So this is a method for you to thicken sauces that are water-based. For this, we're going to use the Varoma function. Okay, please bear with me. There's one chicken that's stuck. Okay. I got it out, so I will pour in about half of the sauce just so it doesn't dry up in the oven, and then I'm gonna thicken the rest of it in the Thermomix. Okay. If you want more sauce, if you're the type who likes a lot of sauce for your adobo, you can add about 50 grams of water. Oh, this is the sauce that's left. I want to thicken it. There's about you know, you remember the measuring cup. This thing is a measuring cup, so there's a mark here for 50 ml, and you just add about 50 ml of water if you like it that way. Okay. So meanwhile, over here, I'm gonna thicken it by cooking it for about 2 minutes on Varoma. Because this chicken, it doesn't release much water, that's why I don't have much sauce. It's perfect, just perfect. And this one, I'm gonna pop it into the oven. Saw it, but I actually put it on the top rack so that it would redden a bit, brown a bit. Meanwhile, the rice is already in my basket, and I'm just gonna add water to it. enough to cover slightly. And this is how we wash our rice. So we're gonna wash it for 30 seconds on speed 4. Remember, when you're using your basket, you shouldn't go beyond speed 4. Oh yeah, Joyce, thank you. It's chinchalo, the shrimp thing from Laka. Yeah, that's the closest thing to the Filipino alamang. Linda, hi! Hi Charlie! How's your foot? Is it much better? Okay, so washing of rice is done. So we just take it out and then we give it a quick swirl just to loosen out any leftover starch. Meanwhile, the sauce here is done. We can leave it like this, no problem. Okay. And then when you lift it out, then you can see the starch already, right? We only need to wash this one. So easy. So I'm just gonna discard the water. So I poured out the water and I'm going to put in fresh water. So very simple tip when cooking rice. If you are using baraswangi or jasmine rice, just make the water level same as your rice. Any other rice, like I'm using basmati parboiled, or maybe you have brown rice, any other rice other than the baraswangi or the jasmine rice, you add about an inch. You know, like how you put in your finger when you're using the rice cooker. It's similar to that. So it looks something like this, but I'm not sure if it's visible to you. And then you just cook it for about 18 minutes. You start off with 18 because the cooking time will depend on your rice. And there's another nice thing about the Thermomix. If your hands are wet, you can actually use the selector button to switch from the time, temperature, and speed. So I'm going to set 18 minutes here. And 100 degrees. We're boiling water, 100 degrees. And then speed 3.5. Super easy. And that's how you cook rice with the Thermomix. And when it's done, you just lift it up using the spatula. Lift the simmering basket with the spatula. And we're done. This is life with the Thermomix, people. You can sit down, you can answer your WhatsApp, you can entertain people, you can have guests right in front here. You don't have to hide in the kitchen anymore. I'll finish off my green mango shake while our chicken is browning in the oven. So good. You should give it a try. So I'm just going to check on our chicken now. Super simple. Hi, Kaisha. Okay, any questions that I can answer? Anything at all about Thermomix? Maybe I can help you. For people who are new to Thermomix. Oh yeah, since we may have people who are new to Thermomix, I'm just going to show you very briefly about the Thermomix. It's German quality worldwide. It's made by a company called Forward, and it's been around since 1883. So that's more than 135 years, people. So it's very, very solid company behind it. And we are found worldwide in more than 80 countries around the world. All of these green dots, that's where we are. And of course, because Forward is the original inventor of the Thermomix, we hold the patents to all of these technologies. And we have won numerous awards as well. Okay? And the Thermomix itself, even though Forward has been around since 1880, since 1880, 1883, the Thermomix itself has been around since the 1960s. So it started off as a blender that can heat up baby food, and in a span of 60 years, the TM6 here, the latest model, is only the 9th generation. So you can have the peace of mind that if you invest in a Thermomix right now, which I encourage you to do, you will not have to worry about the Thermomix getting obsolete for the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years. No problem. It's still very good. In fact, the company is still servicing this model until now. And we have older models that are still in good working condition. It's amazing, right? Okay. And clean kitchen, fumes free, everything you need, it's all in here. Weighing, chopping, blending, cooking, stirring. You have a thermometer built in. And then for people who are new to Thermomix also, we actually have a library of recipes in a platform called Cookie Do, more than 57,000 recipes. And there was a new collection that just came out. It's Asian Heritage Cupcakes. You should give it a try. So you can scroll, and then whatever you like, you can save, and then it will automatically be synced to your Thermomix. Super easy. Okay, let me check on our chicken. Okay, it looks nice and golden brown now. There we go. It's sizzling. It's golden brown. Earlier it was quite pale, okay? And then I'm just gonna pour the rest of the sauce on it, which is thickened. And you can see there the pecaminya. It's like the oil has split from everything else, which is quite a characteristic, at least my region. This is how this is the adobo that we're used to, because some of the oil is from the chicken skin. And then we just scrape it down, get every bit of the delicious sauce. And there you have it, chicken adobo. Super easy, right? Without the mess. And this one I'm going to pre-clean later, and I'm going to wait for this to be done, and I'll take it out later. So here are our dishes for the day. We have our green mango shake and chicken adobo. Oh yeah, and before we end, as I mentioned earlier, if you've been looking at the Thermomix, I highly encourage you to get it now, because the factory has is closed for 3 months, April, May, and June. So we have very, very limited stocks available right now. So if you want it, I really strongly advise you to get it now. Okay? Any other questions about the Thermomix, please feel free to send me a private message, or you can WhatsApp me as well if you wish. My number is 011, that's 6011 for Malaysia, and then 1144-1145. That's 011-1144-1145. You can also follow me on Instagram, MimiRashid_KL. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. I look forward to your comments on what you'd like me to cook next time. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, at sana magkita tayo muli bukas at sa susunod na mga araw. Ingat po kayo. Take care, everyone, and I hope to see you for the next episodes of Quick and Easy Cooking with Mimi featuring the world's #1 super kitchen machine, the Thermomix. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.